Australia is not typically the first country that comes to mind when we talk about advanced missile systems or cutting-edge military vehicles. Traditionally reliant on partnerships, particularly with allies like the United States and the United Kingdom, Australia has historically prioritized air and naval strength. But 2026 has brought a noticeable shift in strategy, one that's drawing global attention. That shift is centered around an impressive piece of ground-based weaponry, the newly developed 2026 Australian missile launcher. It marks a critical evolution in Australia's defence doctrine, focusing more heavily on mobile, precise, and deterrent missile capabilities. This isn't just about adding firepower, it's about transforming the way Australia defends its vast territories and coastline, especially in a world where missile threats are increasing across the Indo-Pacific region. Let's explore this in depth. From its development origins to its design, weapons systems, mobility, and potential role in Australia's broader defence posture, this is everything you need to know about the 2026 Australian missile launcher. To start, let's talk about the origins of this system. Australia's decision to pursue an indigenous missile launcher program came out of necessity. As tensions increased in the Indo-Pacific and the threat of regional conflicts grew, the Australian Defence Force realised that it could no longer rely entirely on imports or foreign support for missile deployment platforms. There was a growing need to field mobile launchers that could defend critical infrastructure, population centres, and strategic locations. While Australia already had air and naval missile capabilities, ground-based missile launchers offer a more affordable and rapidly deployable layer of defence. That's where the 2026 missile launcher project began, under the guidance of the Australian Defence Force in partnership with domestic manufacturers and defence tech companies. Rumour has it that several unnamed tech partners in Victoria and South Australia contributed to the design and electronics of the launcher, with early prototype testing completed in 2025. Now let's break down what makes this missile launcher so unique. The 2026 Australian missile launcher is a wheeled, high-mobility vehicle equipped with an advanced vertical launching system. It's designed to carry a variety of missiles, from short-range tactical missiles to mid-range surface-to-surface variants. The platform is reportedly modular, which means it can be fitted with different canisters or launch tubes depending on the mission. One of the most notable features is the vehicle itself. Unlike traditional tracked systems, this launcher uses a heavy-duty wheeled chassis, optimized for Australian terrain from outback deserts to coastal plains. It's armored against small arms fire and shrapnel but prioritizes speed and mobility. According to Defense Insiders, the chassis can reach speeds of up to 90 km per hour on highways and retains off-road capability over difficult terrain. Inside, the launcher is powered by a next-gen diesel-electric hybrid engine, offering not only better fuel economy but also quieter operations, a major advantage when stealth and quick redeployment are crucial. The vehicle supports a crew of 3, a driver, a commander, and a systems operator. All work in a protected cab fitted with electronic warfare shielding and climate control, key features for operations in both hot and tropical environments. Now let's dive into the actual missile system. The launcher supports multiple types of missiles depending on mission needs. Sources indicate compatibility with the domestically assembled Boomerang missile, a short to medium-range tactical missile with a range of around 300 kilometers. These missiles are GPS-guided and feature terrain-hugging profiles to avoid radar detection. In addition, the launcher is rumored to be compatible with American-made missiles under the AUKUS agreement, potentially even the Lockheed Martin Precision Strike Missile, PRSM, or similar variants. This gives the system extreme flexibility, allowing Australia to use its own missile stockpile or integrate allied weapons during joint operations or emergencies. In terms of technology, the launcher is equipped with an integrated fire control system using radar input and satellite navigation. It can receive target data remotely, allowing it to launch missiles at predetermined coordinates or respond dynamically to battlefield updates. That means the launcher can operate as part of a broader network communicating with drones, ground radars, or allied naval and air assets. Let's take a second to imagine the strategic advantage here. Picture a mobile launcher that can roll into remote northern territory, receive satellite data showing an enemy vessel 250 kilometers offshore, and launch a missile within minutes. That's a level of deterrence and rapid response that changes the game for Australian defence, particularly in the maritime context. It also adds new options for defence planners. With sufficient numbers of these launchers spread across coastal zones or near critical infrastructure, Australia could create overlapping zones of missile coverage that make any hostile advance far more difficult and risky. Now let's talk numbers. Although the exact cost of each unit hasn't been disclosed publicly, experts estimate that each launcher system, vehicle, launcher module, and basic electronics costs between 15 and 20 million Australian dollars. This doesn't include the cost of missiles, which vary depending on the type. Still, when compared to the price tag of aircraft or naval ships, this offers a cost-effective defence multiplier. On the production side, the Australian government has announced funding to scale up production over the next 5 years, aiming to field dozens of units across the country. This also supports local industry, as many components are being sourced from Australian manufacturers, a strategic move that not only builds self-reliance but also boosts job creation and technical capability within the country. Let's shift gears now and talk about deployment scenarios. Where would these missile launchers likely be stationed, and how would they be used in real-world operations? The first and most obvious location is Northern Australia, specifically, the Northern Territory and Queensland. These areas are geographically closer to Southeast Asia and are key strategic positions for monitoring and defending against potential threats from the north. Think of areas like Darwin, which already hosts military airbases and joint training exercises with the United States. Placing missile launchers here would create a formidable forward defence line. Western Australia is another candidate, particularly to protect major ports and offshore energy assets. With so much of Australia's economic output tied to resources and exports, protecting these facilities from sabotage or strike becomes a top priority. And of course, around major urban centres like Sydney, Brisbane, and Melbourne, launchers could be used to shield critical infrastructure, government facilities, communications hubs, and military headquarters. Beyond homeland defense, the 2026 missile launcher also has export potential. Several regional allies, including Indonesia and the Philippines, have expressed interest in affordable missile systems with rapid deployment capability. If Australia can scale production effectively, it may find itself not just a consumer, but an exporter of military tech, a significant change from its historic reliance on imports. Let's now compare the Australian system with other countries' equivalents. Compared to Russia's Iskander missile launcher, the Australian system is more focused on versatility and joint operations compatibility. The Iskander is a powerful but heavy system, often seen as a strategic weapon. In contrast, Australia's launcher is more tactical, designed for mobility, rapid response, and use in diverse terrains. Against the American HIMARS system, there are similarities, especially in mobility and modular missile options. However, the Australian system appears to be more localized in terms of manufacturing and is potentially more cost-effective for certain mission profiles. It's tailored for Australia's unique defence environment, not global deployment. China's road mobile DF systems focus more on longer ranges and strategic strike roles. Australia, by contrast, is focused on short to medium-range tactical flexibility, an important distinction that aligns with its doctrine of defence rather than projection. So, what does this all mean for the future of Australian defence? It's clear that the 2026 missile launcher is more than just a weapon system. It's a symbol of changing times. Australia is now taking concrete steps toward greater defence independence, developing tools that are customized for its environment and strategic needs. This system complements air and naval power and adds a new layer to Australia's layered defence model. But it also sends a signal to allies. It demonstrates that Australia is pulling more weight in joint operations and regional security. To potential adversaries, it creates uncertainty, and that uncertainty is a powerful deterrent. Critics have raised concerns, of course. Some argue that increased militarization could spark regional tensions or provoke arms races. Others question the sustainability of funding such programs long-term, especially with competing priorities like climate resilience and domestic infrastructure. These are valid debates, but one thing's clear: Australia is no longer content with sitting on the sidelines when it comes to modern defence capabilities. As we wrap up, let's revisit the key takeaways. The 2026 Australian missile launcher is a high-mobility, modular, and domestically produced platform designed to enhance the country's ground-based missile defence. It supports a range of tactical missiles, can operate independently or within a networked battlefield, and is built for Australia's rugged conditions. It represents a turning point in national security, one that enhances deterrence, supports local industry, and adapts to a rapidly changing strategic environment. Whether deployed along the coasts, guarding infrastructure, or integrated with allied forces, this system is a major leap forward. And for defense watchers, this system is definitely one to keep an eye on. It's sleek, smart, and powerful, exactly the kind of innovation that could reshape Australia's role in regional security for years to come.